So students, we will continue with the previous chapter, that is why do we fall ill. So in the previous chapter we discussed about the infectious and the non-infectious diseases. So today we will discuss how the infectious and the non-infectious diseases are spread. Okay, so, or you can say the means of spread of infectious and the non-infectious diseases. Now infectious diseases, it spread from the infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, vectors, physical contact and sexual contact. These diseases are also called as communicable disease because these diseases can be communicated to the healthy person through air, water, food and vectors, physical contact and sexual contact. Now the microorganism which causes disease is called pathogen and the organism in which the disease is caused is called host. For example, the microorganism will enter in the body, it enters in the body of the organism, the healthy organism, and in that healthy organism the microorganism causes disease. So that healthy organism, that is called as host, and the microorganism which causes disease in the healthy organism is called as pathogen. I hope it is clear till here. Okay, now so the diseases, let us discuss how the diseases can be spread through air. Okay, now the disease which spread through air are common cold, tuberculosis, pneumonia, and this occurs through a little droplet which is thrown out by an infected person who sneezes or cough. Okay, because the person who sneezes, who cough, okay, who is having common cold, and if that person sneezes or coughs, what happens? The small droplets go in the air, and whosoever is nearby, okay, will catch the infection. How? Because that person who is standing nearby will breathe the air, and thereby the virus will enter in the body of that person and will start a new infection. As you can see in the picture also, this a person is coughing and the small droplet, it spreads in the air. Okay, it comes in the air, and through the air it spreads in all the places, and when a person will breathe that air, a healthy person will breathe that air, the microorganism will enter in the body of a healthy person, thereby starting a new infection. Okay, now obviously the more crowded our living conditions are, the more likely it is that such airborne diseases will be spread. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now second cause of infectious disease is water. You can see in this slide the diseases which are caused by water are cholera, amoebic, dysentery. Now this occur if the excreta means the stool. Okay, so when this excreta forms someone who is suffering from some disease of the digestive system. Okay, so what happens when, like cholera, when this excreta or stool, it gets mixed with drinking water which is used by the people living nearby, the cholera causing microbe enter in the body of the healthy person, thereby starting a new infection. Okay, so generally such diseases are likely to spread in the absence of safe supplies of drinking water. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now next we come to through vectors. Now students, what happen, other than us there are many microorganisms in the environment. Now what happens, sometimes some of the organisms, they carry the microorganism from the infected person to the healthy person, and the healthy person catches disease or the new infection is started. So these organisms which carries the microorganism from the infected person to the healthy person are called as vectors. For example, mosquito causes malaria, dengue, yellow fever. Flies, it causes typhoid, tuberculosis, diarrhea. Okay, so like mosquitoes, anopheles, mosquito female anopheles, it causes malaria. Now what happens here, female anopheles, when it carries the virus from the blood of the infected person, okay, and when it goes and bites the healthy person, that virus it enters, or that microorganism, it enters in the body of the healthy person. Okay, and you can see here also, like fly picks a pathogen from the fecal method and carries it on the body. Like flies, they are sitting in dirty places, and in dirty places large number of microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, they are present, and it sticks to the body of the fly. And when this fly will sit on the food which is not covered, what will happen? That microorganism will come in the food, and when the person will eat that food, the person will get sick. Okay, you can see here. And in the second picture you can see that infected, where one is written, infected mosquito bites the uninfected person, the person who is not infected. Okay, now what will happen? The infectious, this mosquito is carrying the microorganism, so it bites the healthy person. So what will happen? You see here, second point, the infection spreads through body and into the red blood cells. Okay, because now the microorganism has entered in the body, so the new infection will start. Okay, now when another mosquito will bite this person, what will happen? It will carry the microorganism. Okay, and because this is a vector, this this mosquito, you can call it as a vector, because when it will bite this person now who is infected, so what will happen? The microorganism will, through the blood, will be carried by this mosquito, and this mosquito when will bite another healthy person, what will happen? The microorganism will enter in the body. So these flies and these mosquitoes are called as vectors because they are carrying the microorganism from, they are carrying the microorganism to the healthy person. Like here the flies, they have carried the microorganism or the infectious agents from the to the healthy person. I hope it is clear to everyone nicely. Now another is, just see the picture here. Now another is through sexual contact. The disease which are caused through sexual contact are syphilis and AIDS. Now here what happens? There are microbial diseases such as syphilis or AIDS that are transmitted by sexual contact from one partner to the other. However, such sexually transmitted diseases are not spread by casual physical contact. Casual physical contact means handshakes or hugs or sports like wrestling or any other ways in which we touch each other socially. Okay. Now, other than the sexual contact, the AIDS virus can also spread through blood-to-blood contact with infected people, or from an infected mother to her baby during pregnancy, or through breastfeeding. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now, next point is organ specific and tissue specific manifestations. Okay. Pathogen enters the body by different means or go to different parts of organs or tissues. Now, as you know that the human body is very big as compared to microorganisms, and there are large number of microorganisms which causes diseases. So the microorganisms can enter the body by different means, but after entering in the body, where this microorganism they reside, do all the microorganism causing different diseases, do they reside at the same place, or do they reside at the same organ or the tissue, or different? So where they reside, the question is where these organisms or microorganisms they go. This selection is actually connected to their point of entry, means they go to different organs and different tissues, but this totally depends on the place or the point from where they enter. Like for example, if the microbe enters through nose, are likely to go to lungs because they will follow that tract of respiratory tract, that it enters through the nose, then through the nose it will go to the nasal cavity, then it will go to pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and particularly then it will go to lungs. Okay, so this the example is bacteria which causes tuberculosis of lung. It enters through the nose, but it settles or resides in the lung. Okay, another example you can see here, the microbe which enters through mouth, where it will go? It will follow the digestive tract, it will follow the path of the digestive tract. So that microbe, it goes in the gut, the digestive tract, it resides in the digestive tract. For example, the bacteria which causes typhoid, or it goes to the liver. For example, the bacteria which causes jaundice. I hope it is clear to everyone till here. Now, but always it is not the same. Always it is not that, like wherever they enter, from wherever whichever place they enter, they go and reside at that particular organ. No. For example, HIV, it comes in the body through the sexual organs, but the organism, that virus, HIV virus, it doesn't reside in the sexual organs. It spreads to all the lymph nodes all over the body. Like malaria causing microbe, it enters through the mosquito bite, it goes to the liver, but it doesn't reside in the liver, it spreads in the blood. Okay, so like the virus which causes Japanese encephalitis or brain fever, it will enter through the mosquito bite, but it goes in the brain. Okay, it infects the brain. Now the signs and symptoms of the disease, it totally depend on the tissue or the organ which the microbe targets. I hope it is clear till here. If the liver is targeted, then a person will have jaundice. If the lungs are targeted, then the symptoms will be cough and breathlessness. If the brain is targeted, a person will observe headache, vomiting and unconsciousness. Okay, so the symptoms, it generally depends on the organ which is targeted, and these are, I told you in the previous class that there are two types of symptoms. One are the journal symptoms which tell us that some disease is there, some infection is there, and there are other symptoms which tell us or which helps the doctor in diagnosing the disease. So these are actually those other symptoms or the specific symptoms. For example, unconsciousness. If the brain is targeted, a person will have unconsciousness, vomiting, which can give a hint to a physician that something is wrong in that area. Okay, or if cough is there, or if sneezing is there, then it will give some hint to the doctor that what is the disease. Okay, so as I told you, in addition to these symptoms, there are other symptoms also, the journal symptoms like pain, fever, headache, pus. Okay, because what happens when any organism enters in the body, the immune system becomes active, and in response to that microorganism or the pathogen, okay, what happens, the immune system, it produces antibodies, and those antibodies goes at that particular organ or a particular tissue and kills the microbes, and thereby resulting in inflammation. There is an inflammation at that point, there may be pain, person may have fever, person may have headache. So these are the journal symptoms. Okay, so what happens, the immune system becomes active, and that immune system, it produces antibodies which kill the microorganisms, and these are the journal symptoms. These journal symptoms tells us that something is wrong with the body, but the specific symptoms tells us where or which organ is affected and what is wrong or what may be wrong. Okay, so and there are large number of bacteria or there are large number of microorganisms in the environment, or the so they enter in the body, but on the daily basis, day to day basis they enter, but we don't feel, we don't have any symptoms, because our immune system, it produces antibodies which kill these minor infections on the daily basis, which kill these microorganisms entering in the body in small amount every day on day to day basis. Only if the microorganism number increases in the body, then only we face or we have such type of symptoms. Okay, but students, there is AIDS, okay, HIV infection. Here the virus, it goes to the immune system. HIV virus, okay, it goes to the immune system and it damages the immune system, and it is actually this immune system which prevents our body from day-to-day infection. Now if the immune system is damaged, what will happen? The person who is suffering from AIDS, okay, or who is infected by HIV infection, what will happen? The person doesn't die of the disease, the person dies because of the infection, because here the immune system is damaged. So the day-to-day infection is not cured. Understood or no? Because when the immune system is damaged, the body no longer can fight off with many minor infections that we face every day. For example, understood, every day we face infections, every day the microorganisms enter in the body, but we don't feel because they are the minor infection which which the antibodies are produced and they kill these microorganisms. But in case of AIDS, if the immune system is damaged, then what happens? A minor cold, it becomes pneumonia. Understood or no? Similarly, minor gut infection can produce major diarrhea or blood loss. So ultimately, these are the infections that kill the people suffering from HIV or AIDS. Okay, now principles of treatment that we will discuss in next class. Thank you, students.